Hi, my name is Pascal. Today we are going to do a quick comparison between power racks and rigs. And if you want to get deeper on the topic, then please follow the links in the description box below or check out my other playlists here on YouTube where I walk you through my entire setup here and every single little piece that you can see in my home gym with a review. So that's it, and let's get started on the video. Personally, I think the most important question to ask yourself between deciding for a power rack and a rig is how many people will actually train in parallel. The more people will train in parallel, the better probably the rig option would be. So if you're running group classes, and also a rig actually is the idea of a CrossFit box, so that you have like 4, 5, 6 or maybe even 12 people training in parallel and competing against each other, then a rig is better than a power rack. Now this channel here focuses mainly on home gyms, and you guessed it, I think a rig for most home gyms is not really the ideal option, and a 4-post rack is better in terms of safety, but also in terms of what kind of attachments you can put onto it and upgrade paths, because once a rig is installed, it is very limited in terms of how you move forward with it, building other things onto it, or even deinstalling it and moving it around. Another thing to consider is plate storage. A rig the same length of multiple power racks that have been chained together will in total give you less storage space for plates than power racks that are chained together, because you just have less posts. So this becomes important when you have a lot of people training for very heavy squats, deadlifts and bench presses at the same time. With a rig, you just don't have as much real estate to put plates on for each of these beasts than you have with multiple power racks chained together. So if you are running a commercial gym where you have a lot of strong people doing the big lifts or doing Olympic weightlifting at the same time, then you probably want a bit more storage for the plates. Now you still can do that with a rig, plus some plate trees, but then just think about where these plate trees actually will go, and that people are not fighting for the plates or have to walk very far from their station to get the plates, because that will annoy your customers. So if also in terms of COVID, you want to have separate, let's say kind of hives or kind of, pods where people can train, and then also it can easily be cleaned afterwards, then also you're better off to get several power racks than a rig. Of course, the downside is that as many stations of power racks compared to rigs will also cost you quite a bit more money, because you will buy more steel. So weigh these things up against each other when you're making your decision between a power rack and a rig. Another thing to consider is movement around the setup. So rigs are definitely better if people have to run around a lot between different exercises when you want to do circuit training, if you want to do a lot of pull-ups and change exercises around really quick, because there is just less material in the way. With a power rack, you will have safeties, you will have actually bottom cross members, top cross members, extra ones. So there's way more potential to trip or for things to get in the way when you are moving around fast. So a setup with multiple power racks is way more suitable for people who won't move a lot while they're exercising, but move very heavy weights and therefore need the safety around them. If you are training circuit training, but the exercises are a lot lighter, then you're probably better off with a rig setup, because people can just move way easier between different stations without tripping up or moving things out of the way. Last thing to consider are heavy attachments, and if you want to build and upgrade your gym with heavy machinery, then usually getting multiple Power racks daisy chained is a better idea than rigs. The rigs don't really leave a lot of potential for heavy upgrades. So with heavy upgrades, I mean lat pull down stations, rhinos, belt squats, you know, all of that kind of heavy machinery that you would have in a bodybuilding gym. If you have a few power racks that are modular, then it's way more likely that you can attach something heavy to them rather than the rigs. The rigs usually, once installed, because they're installed against the wall, they stay like they are. You might be able to swap around the, you know, the pull-up bars or attach some bands on it, but that's about it for upgrade paths. So if you're really thinking about expanding your gym very often for more people and switch things around very often, then multiple racks that also are not installed to the wall are possibly the better solution, because you can also then just disassemble them and stack them together differently rather than having a rig that each and every single time has to be taken out of the wall, and then you have to plaster the wall and paint the wall again, etc, etc. You see where I'm getting at with this. So again, you know, with the attachments, think about it, how you want to evolve your gym in the future. Again, rigs don't apply as much to home gyms, so that is why the whole talk is a bit more about commercial settings. So to conclude, as you are already comparing rigs with racks, you're probably more on the commercial side of things and less on the home gym side of things. Of course, there are also exceptions, but that's where I'd personally place you. So if that is where your head is at, I would encourage you to think more about how do people actually move? What kind of circuit training do you do or don't you? Are your clients more heavy lifters, or are they soccer moms, or, you know, what are they like? And then really make a decision based on functionality rather than on budget. Now, of course, for running classes and getting the biggest return of investment, it is almost always easier to make a case for a rig than for a rack, because you invest less and you can cover more clients at the same time. However, before you make that purchase, really think about who would appreciate having a rig over a power rack and how you mix things on your floor space, rather than just trying to maximize everything for as many people as possible. Because, you know, like powerlifters or Olympic weightlifters, especially if you're the only gig in town where they have enough space and plates, they are, you know, they're pretty chill and they pay their bills on time as far as I know, and they're pretty low maintenance in terms of personal trainers. So, you know, weigh that up against each other, but you know best for your own business. That's just my 2 pence on it. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends about my channel. Have a very nice day, and I hope to see you soon. And if you have any questions or remarks, then put them in the comments box below. I will get around to them, and usually my answers are quite detailed.